Okay, it is 6:02 p.m. Call to order, Open Public Meeting Act, Public Law 1975, Chapter 231. According to the Open Public Meeting Act, this meeting of October 22nd, 2025, was published in the Bergen Record and Herald News on January 8th, 2025, and was sent to the our town. The executive session meeting notice was published in the Bergen Record and Herald News on October 19th, 2025. In addition, copies of said notice are and have been available to the public and are on file in the office of the Township Clerk. May I have a roll call, please?
Okay, Mayor, Committeewoman Apici and Miller will be absent from the meeting today. Committeewoman Artola? Here. Committeeman Cholinsky?
Here.
Mayor Judge Carvello?
Here.
We
All
have
right,
four.
thank you. All right, executive session, we have resolution 25-268. This is authorization to enter an executive session, matters relating to litigation, negotiation, and attorney-client privilege, matters relating to personnel. May I have a motion to go into executive session?
Second.
Well,
Are you-
then I'll first.
Okay.
You said second before
You
you
said
said first.
That's okay.
Oh, I thought you said.
Yeah, roll call, please.
Let's move things along, all right?
You're
Let's
just
keep it
moving along,
moving.
moving along. Okay, roll call, please.
Yeah. Committeeman Cholinsky? Say yes.
Yes.
Mayor Carvello?
Yes. All right, we're going to closed session. We'll be out approximately 7.
That could be from residual, from,
To order again, may I have a motion to come out of executive session and reopen?
I'll make the motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call.
Committeewoman Artola?
Yes.
Committeeman Cholinsky?
Yes.
Mayor Judge Carvello?
Yes. May we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. All righty. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming this evening. So we're going to start with the proclamations. We have 2 this evening for 2 of our flags that'll be flying on the flag post starting in November. We have the National Veterans and Military Families Month. We also have honoring the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States Marine Corps. So let me just start with this National Veterans and Military Families Month. And this proclamation says, one second. Let's see, here we go. This flag was donated by Ms. Piche, and it reads, whereas each November our nation observes National Veterans and Military Family Month to honor the extraordinary service and sacrifice of our veterans, active duty service members, and families who stand beside them. Whereas military families provide unwavering support and strength behind our armed forces, enduring long separations, relocations, and challenges of military life with resilience and dedication. Whereas the Township of Rochelle Park proudly recognizes and thanks all veterans and military families in our community for their bravery, commitment, and countless contributions to our nation's freedom and security. Now, therefore, be resolved that I, Mayor Teresa Judge Carvello, and the Township Committee of the Township of Rochelle Park do hereby declare November 2025 as National Veterans and Military Families Month in the Township of Rochelle Park. We call upon all residents to express their gratitude and appreciation for those who have served in the uniform and their families to support them every step of the way. Dated this 22nd day of October in the year 2025. And this is the flag, what it's going to look like. Got you. When it's so it's a very nice military flag. And that'll be put up the 1st of November. Can you see that? That's
Yeah, I can.
okay.
Very
good.
nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Great. So the next one we have is honoring the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States Marine Corps. And we have, this was requested by Mr. Bob Davidson. He's here in the audience. I know Mr. Davidson is a veteran of the Marine Corps. And we also have a few police officers who are Marine Corps veterans that are here. We have George, and please state them.
Sure, Mayor. We have, obviously, Officer Orwell is with us. Evan Migliore, who's a member of the, well, is a Marine, is what they like to say. Franklin LeBoy and Chris Saldivia.
So we have quite a few veterans of the United States Marine Corps, 250 years. And my son-in-law is a Marine, and he is over in Gaza right now. So respect to all. I also have a military family, but they were the Navy. They weren't the Marine Corps. But here we go. I'm going to ask Mr. Davidson to please come up. Officer? Chief?
I'm not a Marine, but I'll help hold the flag. My dad's a Marine. Yeah.
Father's Marine?
That's all right.
Gentlemen, like to hold this? Do you want to?
I'm not a Marine. I don't want to step on any toes.
No, you're fine. Mr. Davidson donated the slide from the township. So, this was National Veterans and Military, hold on, got this one. Right that one away. Thank you. Proclamation honoring the United States Marine Corps on its 250th anniversary, November 10th, 2025. Whereas November 10th, 2025 marks the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States Marine Corps, an institution renowned for its valor, discipline, and service to our nation. Whereas the Marines have a long history of defending freedom and protecting our values, with countless men and women serving selflessly in the face of adversity, both at home and abroad. Whereas the Township of Rochelle Park recognizes the courage and sacrifice of all Marines, past and present, and celebrates their enduring legacy of service to our country. Now, therefore, be resolved that I, Mayor Teresa Judge Cavello, and the Township Committee of the Township of Rochelle Park, do hereby proclaim November 10th, 2025, as United States Marine Corps Day in the Township of Rochelle Park, dated this day, 22nd day of October, in the year 2025. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Number 5. Would you like to say something, Mr. Davis?
I get very emotional, so anyways, I was very proud to be able to do this. And all the men and women that served in the Marine Corps for 100 years, I have nothing but the best, most respect for each and every one. If you,
George, maybe you guys can inform the township residents a little bit of what you served as during.
Yes, I joined the Marine Corps in 2000, from 2007 to 2013. I was a mortar transfer operator. I did 1 tour in Afghanistan from February of 2011 to October of 2011. And after that, I got out and I began my law enforcement career. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
I was 1967. That's the old Corps.
So this will be up for you, and there's your proclamation, and thank you very much. And we'll put this up. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Very nice. So, Mr. Rossi, Frank Rossi is here, and he is our engineer with the pump station, and would you please give us an update, Mr. Rossi?
Sure. Just let that microphone on.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Well, at least I'm happy to report. You have all your permits from land use. We had to go at it because of the contamination. We were going back and forth, but we were going to do it every drop of dirt.
Can you talk a little louder? I know.
Sure,
Thank
sure.
you.
So we gave them their extension, like I told you, and I told you it would probably be around October. And we went down to the wire and kind of backed them into a corner where they had to either approve or deny it, but it was too late for them to deny it, so we had to negotiate a little bit. But we got everything we need, everything we wanted. So now the devil is in the details to finalize the drawings, to finalize the specifications, make sure everything is QA/QC'd and ready for bid. The documents that Chief had just put here are for the soil erosion permit, are for the dewatering permits for construction, are the BGR permits to discharge the water to the Saddle River for the dewatering of those of the pits that we need to build to put everything up, and you're the gypsies permit to validate everything that we're doing to discharge, so there's no issues. We're not affecting the contamination at the underground tanks. We made sure our cone of influence did not interfere with that. So we don't have to worry about driving a contaminated plume into our excavation. And you're ready to go. I mean, there's a couple options you have. You can bid this the end of November, beginning of December, which you have, of course, Thanksgiving, or you could bid this after the holiday in January, and this will be up to you, what you want to decide to do. But you're going to have to give the contractor, at least when you bid a project that's this complex, you want to give the contractor enough time. They have to contact all the vendors. They have to make sure they get the right prices, and it's more competitive. If you try to throwing this together during the holiday, people are busy with their families. They're going to just start throwing numbers at stuff and hope for the best. And you want to give them enough time to be able to look at the drawings, call the various vendors up, get the pricing they need, find out the lead times so that they could put a solid number together for you. But again, this is going to be up to you folks what you want to do. Either the end of November, and you have to watch out with the holidays because you have to count that into the days also. So you're end up giving them, rather than 4 weeks, you're going to probably push this to the contractor for 6 weeks because you can't count holidays.
Why are we waiting to the end of November?
Well,
We're still in October, so please explain that.
Okay, you have to now, we want to make sure we take everything, we want to get these permits in. Soil erosion, they take around 30 days, okay, to do their stuff, because we had to wait till we got the permits to make sure that we didn't change the limit of disturbances and sequences of construction, so that's all ready. As soon as we got the permits, I prepared all the other stuff, had everything ready to go. We had that last geotechnical study that we did. There is some issues with the subsurface. There has to be some tweaks on the structural aspects of things. We were actually going over it today with the structures department and the geotechnical engineer, and they wanted to make sure we don't want to get into piling this thing. It costs a lot more money. So what we talked about is over excavating. We actually hit rock, believe it or not, hit rock at 36 feet.
Wow.
Yeah. So structural guys, and Matt could tell you that you want to make sure when you build something like that, you want it on something solid. And rock is the best.
How far were you down when you hit the rock?
36, 37 feet we were hitting rock. And the wet well is around 33, 34 feet with the invert. And then when you talk about then a 2-foot concrete bottom on it, so you're right at that rock level. So they were seeing today maybe no stone. So now, like I told you, it's the devil in the details. So they need a couple weeks. We want to make sure everything is consistent. Don't forget, is I take these plans and I make these changes to them with the DEP. That's my DEP set. That is our approved set. Now, I have to make sure that approved set translates into the contract drawings, because we can't have two sets of drawings, because then we could end up in trouble. Because then you end up building something you're not supposed to build. So it's a little time, it's a couple weeks to put everything together, to get all this stuff down and filed, and then move forward. So you're probably looking at the earliest, probably they would need to put it together 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
No, it shouldn't take that long. I think this should have been planned and been planned for the entire time. You knew all the specs. The biggest holdup I understood was the permits, and the permits came through.
Yep.
So where are the plans that were being drawn up prior to this?
Those plans now, like I said, they have to match the permits.
There are that many different,
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of tweaks and different stuff that we had to add, elevation changes, grade changes. You want to make sure you have a consistent
I understand that.
drawing. I mean, I tried to push them, to be honest with you, today to 2 weeks. And I actually generated that phone call with the structural engineer and the geotech to even shortcut that time out. And they were going at it in the room for about 45 minutes. So tomorrow, they're going to make their decision on the substructure to make sure the bedding and the footing for this wet well is what it's supposed to be. Because we wanted to make sure we have a lot of soil coming out too. All of that's, like I said, all of that's taken care of. But we want to make sure everything matches now, and it just takes time. Can they do it in 2 weeks? Yeah. Okay? But they're going to probably push for that third week just to make sure, because you know, then it's got to go to constructability too. That's another group in Boswell. Actually, the construction folks, they have to give it a blessing too, so they're going to be looking at it also. Because now nothing is changing. They're not going to look at something, they're not going to look at drawings that are in flux when you're trying to get approvals. Now everything is cast in stone, here it is, go ahead, everybody have at it, have their last look before it goes out. Because if you don't QC a drawing properly, or the set of drawings, I don't know how many sheets there are now when you put them all together, and you miss something, it could be very, very costly for change orders. You want to avoid change orders at any expense. So you get in something, you miss something, that contractor is going to be waiting to drop the hammer on you. That's just the way it is. I mean, he sees an opportunity there. He's going to put his numbers together. He's going to make money off it. So to avoid that, you know, it was my recommendation to make sure everybody went over everything, because I've had in some cases where we get approvals and they're building something else out there, and now we have a problem. Now we have a big problem, because now they're outside the regulatory constraints that they were approved for. So to avoid that, we all get on the same page. Everybody goes over everything, blesses it, and out it goes. The spec's almost finished. The plans are sitting there done, but I just want to make sure they're all matched.
So the plans are done.
Plans are done, but I want to make sure they match. And like I said, the only outstanding issue is the structural component of it. The subsurface conditions were a little different than what we expected.
What I would like to ask is, so we have the plans, we saw the plans. We saw the plans for the pump station, and in detail. They were reviewed, and we got to review them. That was based on what in the ground?
That was based on, when they did that, they based it on the worst case in the ground, maybe no bottom soils, and soil strengths that I think they consider like 2,000 PF, you know, for that pounds per square foot VSF on that.
Those were designed, let's say, with spread footings perhaps, or?
Yeah, and now, and they were talking about piles. Okay? Now, since we have the real stuff, now we're talking about a different situation here. We could foot this thing, maybe hog out a little extra material to get onto that rock, and then build it up from there. So maybe we're going to have a foot of stone or 2 foot of stone under there, rather than trying to dry piles to hold this thing, which would have been, you know.
So the only real change we're talking about is how we're going to start this project off from the footings, right? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, of the structural aspects.
So my vote would be to move ahead, Steve, full blast.
Me too. So now, with now having to put the pilings as you had first thought of, is that going to make a cost difference here?
When the cost difference is going to come in now is, yes, it's going to be a lot better. It's a lot better pump station too. I'm actually happy to see when they told me that they hit rock, I actually sent somebody out here because I didn't believe them. I thought they hit a boulder. And I said, no, put another boring in. They put the other boring in, we hit rock at 36. So hit at 37, now they're at 36. So I said to the geotech, I said, are you serious? Come on, look who we are. And he said, no, that happens sometimes. It's just the way the formation of a stream, and now all four borings were at the same elevation.
If I may, Mayor?
Yes, sir.
So, for those of you who lived on the south side of town, when public service had Rochelle Avenue closed, part of the biggest part of the delay in getting that project done when they were boring, they actually had to bring in a mining company from Pennsylvania, so pretty much the same amount of footage from the Saddle River by Becker Avenue and Rochelle Avenue, they hit this stone that they couldn't believe. Literally had to bring in a mining company from Pennsylvania to use their tool in order to bore through that stone. So if it's as strong as they said, this is some of the strongest rock we've ever seen.
Right. And the other thing is this, here's a downside. If the pump station was designed and now they're going to put this material down under it, or if they were dry piles, that would be a problem. They'd be hitting rock. That refusal at 30-something feet. Now we got a whole construction delay. Or if you're down like that and you're supposing your pump station now goes into the rock, and we don't have a rock excavation number in the spec, the contractor will say, well, $800 a cubic yard. You'll be screwed.
Right.
So that's why by the time you get your soil erosion permit, by the time
Wait, I'm sorry, we need another permit?
you need a soil erosion permit, yes.
We didn't get that?
No,
You couldn't until
you couldn't until we got the DP stuff.
Okay, but we
So-
can still do the other stuff.
Everything is here. Everything's all here, ready to go.
Okay,
Tomorrow, I'm sending this out.
okay.
The notices are already in the paper for the Chippies permit. I already sent that to the newspaper, to the record. This is the construction stuff. So that's going out already. That's the dewatering and all that stuff's going out.
Okay.
So this way, by the time you award your project, hopefully the state will be giving us this construction dewatering permit and the BGR permit. And then we'll give this to the contractor and say, here you go. Here is your paperwork for your dewatering. So that saves a lot of time. Because leaving it, and we discussed this the last time, if you let the contractor do that, he would be starting from scratch. You'd be out, God only knows how long. So we're getting this in. We just did 2 more of these. This is all ready to go. Soil erosion's ready to go. So you got about a month of time for these.
and
So-
there's no way to expedite because we're relying on other agencies, basically.
No. When you're dealing with, you have 3 different divisions of DEP going to be dealing with this, okay? They're going to make sure, the water allocation people are going to make sure that we're not diverting water that's going to somehow deplete the drinking water. So they got to do all their they search everything to make sure they can approve the amount of diversion. They call what we're doing a diversion.
Okay.
Okay, it's not dewater. They call it diversion.
Okay.
And when you have 8 pumps running don't forget, we got to bring the water table down almost 20-something, almost 27 feet. So we're going to have a big cone of influence. We're going to drain this water down. They want to make sure we're not affecting businesses, wells, contamination. We do have an issue, some contamination issues, not the Burroughs issue. It's a site-wide issue for TCE, dry cleaning fluid. There was a manufacturer.
That's,
Yes, okay. So that's on this form here too. So we had to add activated carbon to our dewatering system. So we put it through a 10-micron filter to filter the particulates out. Then we bring it to activated carbon prior to discharge. So we had to list all those chemical constituents that could possibly be in that water. So they're going to review that. They're going to send it. The BGR permit, that's for the discharge of that contaminated water. That group is going to look at all the contaminated sites in the area, all the aquifers, all the CEAs, to determine whether or not we're going to have an issue discharging water to the Saddle River, which we should. So it's just another level, but these are the construction folks. These are not the land use folks.
Okay, so I believe 2 weeks.
I'll tell them.
I think Mr. Trwinsky also said full speed ahead, right, Mr. Trwinsky?
We accept.
Okay. Mr. Tola?
Yeah.
Yep, so if we could get this, but we will have it done. We are on the way to get this
We're
done.
more than on the way.
This is on the way to go.
This is to go.
This is
Okay.
go. I will be filing this, and then I am stepping back, and the project manager that was on here will be back on the job. Giselle will be handling it. I step back from here.
Well, thank you for all
We'll
your
miss
help.
you, Frank.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions?
If I may, Mayor?
Yes, please.
Frank, obviously, if there's anybody down at the DEP that, you feel needs a little push and shove, you let us know. The mayor's definitely been helpful in that regard in getting these contacts on the assembly level that could reach out.
I know.
That'll be great.
I mean, we were waiting for a long time for that last one, and it just kind of, let's just put it that way, okay? So,
When, like I said, these are going in, I gotta wait for one, I have to wait for the notice to get the certified notice from the paper. That'll probably be by Friday or Monday.
okay.
The other ones are going tomorrow, soil erosion's going tomorrow. So, I mean, then it's just, like I said, from that point, as soon as they contact me, I can give you the names.
Great.
The problem you have at the DEP also is, a lot of the seasoned people are leaving. A lot of directors are leaving, a lot of the assistant commissioners are leaving. I guess they don't know what's gonna happen on, November 4th, so they're opting to look for jobs. So they're in a little turmoil down there, so there's people who are now moving up, they're now into bureau chiefs, there's stuff so it's kind of hard to reach people, but I'll give you the names as soon as I know them. And be my guest, reach out. These folks aren't bad to deal with. They're the construction end, they're looking to help move projects forward, not the land use, which they're looking to.
Well, Mr. Ross, you understand, and I think it's been said to you a few times, that we feel, I think the entire committee and the administrator and everyone else probably in the community feel that that pump station is held together with
Band-Aid and
Band-Aids
bubblegum.
and bubble gum, right? That's what we keep saying. So we don't believe, there's that much time that we can really spare. And I understand the holidays. Believe me, I get the whole thing. We don't want to hear that. We want this done. And I think that's the best way of putting it. And every year we keep going up in price. We had our FEMA taken away, our FEMA money taken away. I mean, now we've got $1 million back, but that was a different avenue than FEMA. I don't know if that'll ever come back, the FEMA. And I believe, and I don't know if I want to speak for everyone up here, but we're not looking to make this more and just keep waiting and waiting. And
I agree.
we have to get this done. I know that I know there's a committee woman here who could tell you that, a few years ago it was maybe 2 million or $1.5 million, and now we're up to 4, right? So each year it's getting higher and higher, and which is good. We now found the rock. What kind of rock is it?
Like sandstone.
It's a hard, it's a,
You ever see them dig up in Hackensack?
yeah,
Is that red stuff?
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So that's
I
very
don't believe
strong.
it's granite.
Okay. So I'm
No.
gonna.
No, it's not granite, no.
Yeah, it's the red.
It's a
Okay,
red
so-
rock.
Red stone, it's like sandstone.
I'm gonna. You know what? If the dais is okay, hang on one second. If the dais is okay, I'd like to open to public. Would anybody like to motion that?
I'll make the motion.
Second it?
No, second.
Okay, so we'll open this to public. All in favor, please?
Aye.
Aye, okay.
Aye.
We'll open this to the public for any kind of questions. Mr. Rossi, you're good with that, right? Okay. Mr. Davidson, I see you back there.
I actually have, I do have that question, because I know we have a lot of.
Come up to the
shale.
mic, Mr. Davidson, so we can hear you. No problem.
I know we have a lot of shale in Rochelle Park.
That's what I thought.
And so,
Yeah.
the whole the question is this shale, when you say in the rock, the first thing that comes to my mind is shale, because and I remember what you were talking about on Railroad Avenue about at Rochelle.
This here, what they said was, it was a very solid rock. So in the report, they're going to be finalizing the report. Like I said, I'll have it tomorrow. I'll send you copies. And you can see exactly, the whole strata of what they found, from historic fill to the native soil, right down to the refusal.
Yes, was there a lot of sand as well there?
There was sand above the rock.
Right.
But then above that, like I said, it was probably over the course of the years, it was all filled in back there. So it was just historic fill of soil brought in.
Because, I had the same situation actually in my own yard. Okay, where you have the sand, you get through the sand, and now you start to hit the clay.
Yep.
And once you get through the clay, then you wind up at the shale point. And then you sit there with a pick or whatever the case might be, but you can break it up. So that's why I was a little concerned. So I was wondering, when you're saying rock, you know that this is a solid rock.
Well, luckily, we are slightly above it with everything we're doing, so we're going to be laying right on top of it.
Yeah, but you're putting all that weight down on it.
Oh, that ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, okay.
But I know our structural engineer was happy. He was jumping for joy.
That's great.
Well, that's good.
Hey, listen, that's the best thing that could possibly happen, if in fact that's the case. So if you can just, because you had mentioned a couple of other things, you still had to get some of the specs ready.
Yeah.
So that's because of some of these changes.
What they're going to do is they're going to make sure that everything matches everything from what I did to their plans. Because don't forget, now, I have a permitting set. You have it, you have a copy of it, you see it. It was sent to us by DEP. My set, has to now match their set. Because I did a lot of changes to it. Okay? So mine is not the construction set. Mine is the permit set. Mine actually has the stamp from DEP on it. So now they have to make sure all their drawings are in line to make the construction set, because now they put all of the details on it. They'll put the quantities, they'll have all the different stuff their labels and everything. DEP doesn't want to see all that, neither do I, because every time I got to change quantities, I got to search all over to make sure. So now that we're cast in stone on the permit set, they'll take that permit set and produce the construction drawings. Okay, and like I said, the thing that was the holding stuff up, actually, the geotech had the wrong elevations down, and I had to send the report back to him to revise it, and we've been going back and forth for a couple days to get him to revise the numbers I needed. And then today, I actually got him on the phone. I talked to the owner. The owner had that person call me, which then I went and found the structural engineer, sat these guys in the room together and say, okay, let's go. Let's hammer this out, because we got to get this done. And they did. So tomorrow, I'm getting the revised geotechnical report with all the right numbers on it. Those right numbers will match the numbers in the permit set. Now, those numbers have to match the structural set and the construction set. So now they'll calculate quantities, because now they'll be able to know how much quantity of soil they're taking out, everything else, so that they'll put that in the spec. They're not going ahead and doing the whole spec over. No. Everything is there. They're just going to QA/QC it, tweak it to make sure that they didn't miss nothing. I mean, it's the right thing to do.
All right, so then
I've been pushing them.
So then what the township can take into consideration is, from today, when do you think that you can actually go out to bid?
Like I said, they from
Because I think
today,
that's what you're looking for.
what I think maybe might be prudent, if you look in and see when you want to bid, when the township wants to bid this, and when they want to receive bids, because as the attorney will tell you, you need so many days minimum. And,
it's more than 10 days.
Yes, I think it's 30 days
I
initially,
think
right?
it's 30 days. I think you're right.
He's going to check.
Yeah.
He's going to look at it right now.
you're going to want to give the contractors more time to review this.
This is an in-depth plan. It's not
Yeah,
a simple project.
It's a very involved plan. And you want to get the right people. If you rush it and you put too short a time on it, contractors that have work right now, I'm even going to look at it. I'm going to waste their time. I'm going to do this. We don't have enough time to put a number on it. If you give them a little extra time, you got the holidays, it's a complicated project.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
But the more you go into another year, the more money you're talking about. This is where I'm concerned. This is supposed to have been all drafted already, and I get it, you found something different, and now you want to just tweak it. So, how many vehicles did you find? Okay, he's looking at it. So I believe, and I've never known so much about a pump station in my life, but now I understand a lot more. But I believe with the tweaking, and we can do the bid, and I understand what you're saying, to give the contractors enough time. But I believe there are contractors out there who will take it.
Yeah, but maybe that's not the ones you want.
I don't know, maybe you know more than I with that. I don't,
It's 20 calendar days,
so it's 20 calendar days,
Okay, so,
which is like 30.
kind of.
yeah, because you can't count the holiday, you can't, also, you can't receive bids on can't receive
Yeah,
bids.
calendar is 20, no, it's 20.
It's 20 calendar.
But to your point, you don't want, if you give too little time, you're not going to get as many bids as you want. The more bids you receive, the better.
The better competition you're going to get, the better price that you're going to get, and you're going to get the better contractor. It's just the way it works. Again, I would suggest if you want, right now, let's pick a date that you want to bid this and receive bids. And I'll put this down and I'll bring it back to the office and tell them, here you go. And if there's something that pops up,
So if we, I'm just going to give it, I'm sorry, let me open it. Anybody else from the public? No? May I have a motion to close to the public?
I'll make the motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
So, I'm just giving a broad thing now. Get my calendar. 2 weeks, I'm just giving a kind of broad thing. Oh, I can't see. Yeah, let's see. All right, so we go.
let's say
End
plans,
of October.
let's say plans October, we could finish November 3rd. That's a Monday,
That's a Monday. Okay.
okay? November 3rd.
So
When,
that's a full 2 weeks.
all right, when do you want to bid?
November 4th.
November 4th.
I would say,
Election day,
Because don't forget, then we got to count, and you got Thanksgiving in there, so you have to,
Well, I think you're probably better off getting it out shortly after the 3rd and then
How about
receiving
the
the bids in the middle of December.
I agree.
I think the 5th
I
would be
agree.
the best.
Full steam ahead.
The 5th, guys?
Yep.
That would be right after. Yeah, we're looking at then, November
so you want to bid 5th of November.
5th. And if we do the full 20 or 20.
No, I think you should go to the middle of December because of the Thanksgiving and other holidays.
Well, wait a minute now. So if we do it on the 5th, how many weeks do we have?
Yeah.
We have
I would suggest too, Mayor, not, rushing this.
3, 4. To take us to the first week of December.
You got to count, you got to take 27 and 20.
Take off the Thanksgiving, so even the second week of December, you're talking about then.
Yeah.
Yep. That's, receive them.
So you would receive, it would have to be either 9th, 10th, 11th, or 12th.
Oh,
12th.
why?
12th is a Friday.
The better it is, and it's not going to make any difference.
12th is a Friday, so normally,
Yeah.
when do you guys usually accept bids?
Thursday.
I would probably do it Thursday.
Thursday? All right,
We
so
have the meeting on the 12th. don't we?
December 11th.
Hang on one second. Wait, sorry, excuse me.
No.
We have the meeting on the 12th? of
Not in
December?
December, that's,
When's the meeting in December? The 10th?
the 10th, yeah. Yeah, we're not gonna,
This is just to receive bids.
this is receiving bids, it's not the bid
I
opening.
know.
So go with the 12th.
All right, we'll do the 12th.
Mayor,
12th is Friday.
I think you're giving
All right, you
the,
know what, maybe we'll do the 11th, the day before, because then they can get the bids and then we can open.
December 11th, receive bids.
All right, let me open them.
And then you'll probably want to award till January, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Are you answering first?
I'm thinking.
Thank you. We're going to January on that?
Yeah. What do you mean, when construction would start?
Award, when would the town be in a position to award contracts?
Oh, they would be able to award
Right
it, when's your second meeting in December?
We don't, but we can have one. We can have one if we need to. So we can look at the middle of December to do that if we have to have a special meeting.
Well, how long is it going to take you to review the bids? Once they're received?
That's going to be up to, That's gonna have to talk to Giselle about that. So they can push it. They'll have to push it to review. It depends how many people bid, and they'll have to go through everything and make sure that the,
So then they're probably gonna look to award the following week.
Right. Yeah,
okay, so you'll look to award the week of the 17th,
yes,
the week of the 15th, actually.
correct.
Okay.
So we're not going into January for the award, we'll go into December for the award.
December
All right, is everybody good for
15th
this?
award. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good?
I will bring all of this back and make sure if something's wrong, I'll have Giselle will contact you, Dean.
And then, Mr. Pinto can let us all know what's the progress on this going forward, but we want it this year. This year.
I hear you.
This is what we've worked
I'm-
for.
I
We've worked
pushed-
really hard for it.
I
and
pushed to get you here where we
This whole
are.
committee, our attorney, our administrator, and you, of course, we worked really hard to get it to this point. So,
And we'll pass, after we review the bids, of course, we're gonna send them over to you also.
you
Good
have to
job.
review them.
Yes.
The attorney has to review.
Yes.
Right, and then give us advice on it.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna bring this all back.
Thank you, Mr. Ross, very much. We got where we have to go right now, so.
Thank you.
Thank you all for help, and we'll move forward here.
Thank you, Frank.
Wonderful news. And we will have that shovel in the ground. We will. So, all righty.
Thank you, Frank, and I look forward to the bourbon collection.
Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're gonna go on that. All righty, have a great night, Mr. Rossi. So our next part is discussion of wildlife feeding. Administrator?
Yes, Mayor, thank you. So you should have before you two, again, these are just proposals for ordinance changes, which we're not even introducing, we were just discussing. We've had some issues come up recently with residents putting out food for different type of wildlife, and when I've asked our code enforcement and even our health inspector to enforce, stopping this, we've had, people's homes are covered in pigeons, which of course leave feces, the food falls on the ground, we've had foxes, different type of wildlife come in, to our Harvey Avenue section of town, or A Harvey, and it's just been, again, there's no teeth to our current ordinance. So when I reached out to the health inspector, he said, look, I have nothing I can write. He goes, well, here's some proposed ordinance from other municipalities. We already have an ordinance that prohibits, the feeding of stray animals, but this would just, again, give our code enforcement, and actually any officer in the police department and the Board of Health would be able to enforce this. And again, it's basically, if you recall, not too long ago, Saddlebrook and Elmwood Park both had a rat infestation. And a lot of it came as a result of people leaving food out for, animals, whether it be wildlife, whether it be strays. And, once they come in, they're difficult to get rid of. So trying to be proactive and preventative, I just wanted the town committee to take a look at these and again, see that, give our health inspector as well as our code enforcement and police department a little more teeth to enforce against such things.
So I believe we spoke a little bit about this, and you said the last one was from when? 19?
So the health ordinance is like 1967. Hasn't been updated. It's probably one of the original. The animal ordinance has been updated along the way, but again, it never really went into the type of feeders. Now there is, and Mr. Warnett was able to issue 7 summonses actually to one homeowner under the International Property Maintenance Code, which he can enforce. But again, it's better to have it in our own ordinance so that people are aware of it. And again, it gives everybody, all of our, even our police department at that point can help enforce.
So these are the 2 separate ones that you have.
Correct. Chapter 199 of the Code of the Township is regarding the public health nuisance. That would give our Board of Health a little more power. Our health inspector, which right now he has nothing. And again, this came from him. I believe he took it from a couple of municipalities, and I was able to synthesize it into something that I felt would best, benefit Rochelle Park with, of course, Mr. Scatino's help. And then Chapter 73's Article 2 is already our animal code, basically. It's prohibited conduct of feeding strays. And this kind of gives it, again, more teeth, kind of expands it so that people aren't leaving out, deer licks or other types of things that attract different wildlife into the neighborhood. And then, you may have or may not have heard, but recently Woodcliff Lake had a coyote attack. So the coyotes may be migrating their way back down. So we don't want to, pull them into neighborhoods.
I mean, I'm looking on this, and I know there's a lot of feral cats that seem to come around in Rochelle Park.
Yeah, we already have an ordinance prohibiting the keeping and feeding of feral cats. That's already on the books.
I mean, raccoons, skunks, groundhogs, I get it. And this house, from what I'm understanding, a resident has pigeons all over the house, and they're droppings.
Yeah,
as
they're
well.
actually landing on the neighbor's roof. That's where the complaints are coming from. The neighbors on either side are like, there's bowls of food just left out on the grass, on nightstands, on the front lawn. So it's become not only unsightly, but unsanitary.
Yeah, definitely. Pigeon dropping is very acidy also, too. So, and we have fines in here, too. So anybody have any questions on this?
No, I think it was much needed. A resident actually called me and I notified Dean that it was happening. And there's also another resident nearby that feeds peanuts to the pigeons. So the pigeons know that they could go, and the houses are not far apart. So the pigeons know that they can get a lot of food. And I sometimes find the peanut shells over at my house. So they're carrying them over.
Yeah, I see a lot of that, but the wildlife is also dogs, cats, waterfowl, raccoons, skunks, groundhogs, pigeons, other birds. Yeah, we don't have deer, because I do have a neighbor that likes to feed the deer. So, we can just classify that, in part of this. Okay, so what would you like to do?
We have to put this on
For November.
For introduction.
You want to read these over? Make sure that the other two people that are not here also get a chance to read them over?
Of course.
And then if we decide, we can go ahead and put these on for our first reading and update that 1961, whatever it was,
Yes. Sounds good.
ordinance and bring that to code. All right, very good. All right, so we have some correspondence here. Christina?
Mayor, this was a letter that was sent over to Chief Pinto. I'll read it into the record. Dear Chief Dean, on behalf of Housing Works and Global Impact Productions, I would like to thank you for your assistance while organizing Breaking AIDS Ride this year. We would not have been able to pull off this event without your support. Housing Works is committed to ending the dual crises of homelessness and AIDS through relentless advocacy, the provision of life-saving services, and entrepreneurial businesses that sustain our efforts. Throughout the course of 2 days, riders traveled from Philadelphia to NYC by bicycle to support this life-changing organization and their mission. This year's ride raised over $416,000 toward that mission. Thanks to Rochelle Park Police, we were able to create a fun and safe experience for all. We look forward to your continued support next year. Sincerely, Eric Epstein, President of Global Impact Productions.
Okay, very good, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So, Christina, we also got correspondence of a resignation. This resignation was from Mr. PJ for recreation.
Yeah.
I believe it's for personal reasons. We'd have to accept that resignation. May I have a roll call, please?
Sure.
Do you need a motion?
Motion, please. I'm sorry, motion to accept.
I'll make the motion to accept.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Okay. Committeewoman Artola,
Yes.
Committeeman Chouinski,
Yes.
Mayor Covello.
Yes, I'd like to say that, to thank Mr. PJ for his many years of service as volunteerism to the township, and we appreciate all that he's done for our community. All right, so we have next the adoption of our minutes. We have public session October 8th, 2025, executive session October 8th, 2025. May I have a motion to adopt the minutes?
Go ahead.
I'll make the motion to adopt.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Committeewoman Artola,
Yes.
Committeeman Chouinski,
Yes.
Mayor Judge Covello.
Yes.
Motion
All right, motion carried. Thank you. All right, approval of the agenda. May I have a motion to approve this agenda?
I'll make the motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Committeewoman Otola?
Yes.
Committeeman Truinsky?
Yes.
Mayor George Carvello?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion good. All right, so that's done. Now we have the committee reports. Administrator?
Sure, Mayor, I'll try to keep it brief because we've covered a lot, and we covered a lot last meeting at the work session. An update as to the misters at Carlock Field that have not been working correctly. We were finally able, through Boswell's help, get the manufacturer up here. They're actually going to be taking back custody of those misters. They did find a flaw in one of their design. So they're going to take those back, make the necessary modifications, and get them back to us. We have not finalized payment on that project, Mayor, nor will we until those are back up and running. But it took a long time. It was a long time coming, but we were finally able to get the manufacturer up here. And actually, those units have not even been paid. So neither the contractor or the vendor for those units have been paid, and they won't be until such time as we have misters working. On a better note, today, this week, for those that live down in the Howard Avenue section, you may have seen about 90 trees or so, Dave, right? 90? 90-something trees have been put in the ground as part of that road improvement project. Most residents are reacted very favorable. We have a few reaching out to Dave, actually looking for some, and Dave and his team will continue to work on getting that done, as well as with the Shade Tree Commission. So that's all I have now, Mayor. I'll chime in as need be during your reports and during if any of the resolutions need to be explained.
Great. We also had other good news today, that we received a check for, I'm rounding this off, $168,000 and change. And this is from the care facility that we were working on, that owed us for overusage with the BCUA. It's been, it wasn't done in the past, and finally, pushing forward, they did get us, and thank you to everyone, Judge Scatino and Administrator and whole committee for working forward to push this through. And now they'll continue to do so on a yearly basis, from what I'm understanding from Kathy. She really, by the way, Kathy Cersei did a great job, too.
That's what I was going to ask you.
And I believe what we're going to be looking to see, any others that are overage on this, because this is revenue for our town. Our taxpayers are paying for their overage, and we're not going to do that anymore. So
Correct.
I believe this committee has agreed to that, and we're going to go forward with that. We'll get that from the BCUA and find out, I do believe there are some businesses that might be using our...
So, as you may recall, Mayor, Mr. Scatino has, been drafting an ordinance that, again, gives us, the township, some teeth as far as looking at which businesses are actually, contributing more to our sewer system than the average taxpayer that you're all paying for. So, yeah, there'll be certain businesses, car washes, large rental apartment complexes, right? They're probably putting in more to the system than what their taxes or payments would cover. So, again, and you mentioned Kathy. This was the brainchild of Kathy, and I know she brought it to you, Mayor, and you've been banging the drum. And thank you again to Mr. Scatino and everybody on this committee for the support in getting this done.
Yeah, it was a challenge, but we got it done, and thank you for everybody doing it. Okay, so what do we have? We have let's go with clerk report, please.
There are two short things. The general election is coming up Tuesday, November 4th. Polls open 6 to 8 p.m. I just want to remind all voters that we have one polling location, which is located right over here in the senior center. If you have any voting related questions, you're always welcome to call the township clerk's office. Myself or the deputy clerk will be available to answer any questions. And secondly, we have our monthly newsletter going. I encourage all Rochelle Park organizations to send us any event flyers that may be going on. I know that the newsletter has become a very popular thing for all residents to read through. So we do have a community news section. It's a nice little section where we can post about raffle events, charities, things of that nature. So you're always welcome to email me if you want to get any advertisements going.
Perfect. So that's picked up a lot.
Yes.
We just started it this year, and it's
In
up from
July.
what I'm understanding. Yes, in July.
Yeah.
It's grown tremendously, and a lot of people want to sign up for it.
If
Yes,
I
sir.
may, Mayor, because
Yes,
again,
please.
I told you I'd chime in. Kudos to Gina. I know when we were interviewing for this position was one of the things we brought up, and you're right. Every time residents come to the window.
Yep.
We've had a lot during the past week asking for copies of it. We're actually, we know the link is in the welcome bags, and every resident has a positive take on it and appreciates that it's being done. So I want to thank Gina.
Thank you, Gina. It's great. I mean, it's really informative, and a lot of people understand. You know, I want to just say to the public, too, that if you can't get it on your phone or a computer, we have copies here, right in the alleyway up the hallway there, where you could look and pick one up. You always make extra copies for them to see. It's very informative, and we try to get as much in as we possibly can. Council, any report?
I can just give a brief update with respect to the litigation regarding 120 West Passaic Street, where, as the public knows, we're in Superior Court. We're waiting for the judge's decision as to the challenge to the planning board's decision to deny a variance to Topher for a daycare center at the site. So we're waiting for the judge's decision on that. We have filed a complaint challenging their action with respect to placing parking spaces in another part of their development, and as well as failing to comply with all the terms of the developer's agreement. And that matter is pending before the court, and we're at the early stages with respect to that complaint. And there's also we're still waiting for a firm court date on the violations that were issued by the building department with respect to placing those vehicles on the property. They're leasing the spaces to Mazda, which they never secured a permit for, and it's not a permitted use in that zone. So we're waiting for a court date in municipal court for those violations and the fines that have been levied against them.
Thank you. Sometimes it's a little bit slower than...
Very slow.
Right? All righty, so we're going to get into committee reports. If you don't mind, I'm just going to go through this real quick. Mr. Miller will give his report at the next meeting. He is unable, he has actually a work conference in the city, so he was unable to come tonight. So he'll give his report next meeting. So anyway, let me start off with the police department. In the month of September, they answered 1,296 calls for service. There was 235 motor vehicle stops, 12 arrests, 22 criminal charges, and 484 summonses. The police officers were on an outreach program. We attended the Midland School Car Wash Recreation Committee Fall Festival. Stood wonderfully as honor guards at the 9/11 ceremony. Those uniforms are terrific, and they're really outstanding. Thank you very much for having them there. And also, they, of course, attended first day of school. That was exciting. They have a lot of different training programs going on, continuous training programs going on. And the administrative side, they're continuing to work toward improving relationships with all township departments, working with the Board of Education, and securing a safe and secure environment. The seniors, tomorrow, they have a meeting at 1 p.m., and bingo will be played. So that's exciting. Bingo's always fun with the seniors. Yay! Now, I have here recreation. So the Ragamuffin Parade is on Saturday. It starts at Midland School at 11:30. They meet there. They'll walk down to Carlock Field. They have their activities there, and it ends at 3:30. We also have coming up what they call a turkey trot. I have, I see her. The turkey trot is November 15th, and it's starting at the DeSoto River County Park off Lots Lane. 8 a.m. is registration, 9 a.m. is the start of it. There's looking to be a few things that basketball registration's online. It'll be at Middle School Gym. They practice Monday through Thursday, and the games are on Friday. And that'll be in late November. They'll start that. So we have a few things with that going on, and I believe we're still in hurricane season. I know there's a few that were just mentioned tonight on the news, so this one just off the big coast there, and so we have our OEM, and we're keeping monitor of everything else. So that's what I have for now. Ms. Ochoa, would you like to?
Sure.
Thank you.
So for the court report, for the month of September, Traffic was 424, criminal 23, with a total of $16,674.13. This number is up nearly $4,000 compared to September of last year. And we thank you to our court colleagues and to our police for their hard work for the month of September. I attended the Volunteer Fire Department's annual ex-Chiefs Beefsteak Dinner. Thank you to the fire chief and the officers for conducting this annual ceremony. Thank you also to the American Legion for hosting the event at no cost to the township. It is very much appreciated. At our last meeting, Administrator Pinto stated that Frank Kiernan had passed away. I attended the wake with the American Legion Auxiliary to conduct the prayer service for him. He was a Legionnaire and past Grand Marshal of the Memorial Day Parade. We pray for him and his family and his friends.
Very good, thank you. I believe Mr. Chewinski and I were also at the beefsteak, which was delicious.
Yes, it was.
Delicious. And I did attend Mr. Kiernan
Yeah.
and prayers to his family.
Yeah.
He was 95 years old.
Yeah.
And he was a big part of our community. He'll be missed.
Yeah.
Mr. Chewinski, would you have a report?
Yeah, I don't have much to report on the school, other than, I know it's not a school event, it was a PTO event in the parking lot of Midland School. And I did get to see the Board of Ed, or part of the Board of Ed dressed up as the Wizard of Oz, which was quite a treat.
Yeah.
I got to see the Scarecrow and Dorothy, and I did not get to see the Wicked Witch, which Miss Rainone was dressed up as, and she was already flown out before I got there.
Okay.
On the buildings and grounds, I'd like to put a shout out to Dave for keeping up with the trees. He's planting more trees than ever. And also with regards to our roof is half done on this building. And even though the lower section is just prepped and not finished, apparently there are no more leaks at all in the last couple of rains in this building for the first time in quite a while, right?
Yeah, yeah, very good.
And there's discussions of, while we're under budget, of having the extensive chimney that sticks up and protrudes as the last element that can be also treated with with the main roof, so we can have a 30-year warranty on this building and not have to deal with this for quite a long time. So I'm very happy to be involved with that and and hearing what I'm hearing. So thank you for letting me report that. That's all I have for now.
Thank you. I just, regarding the trees, big shout out to the Shade Tree Commission. Mr. Warren, I think Mr. Warren's over there. This was a big part of getting a lot of these trees, as well as Mr. Pinto, and putting it into the bid spec so we can have this part of our community. I know some people don't like them. Unfortunately, I got the wrath of, I think Mr. Tola got the wrath of some people too, but you know what, in the long run, it's going to be beautiful, I believe, and that's my opinion. And they're really not that big. These trees are really not, to me, I like trees. That's just the way I go, but some people do, some people don't.
And Dave, you can correct me if I'm wrong, or Mr. Warren, but I believe these were chosen by our arborists for the communities that they're being planted into, so that they're not going to grow to be monstrosities or, causing damage or growing into wires. So it's definitely a beautification that, I believe as well, that's been overdue in town.
Absolutely. Thank you for doing that. Okay, so let's move on. Under new business, so we have an opening on our rec commission, rec committee, rather, excuse me. And I have that the chairperson now is Mr. Wrigley, Mark Wrigley, and the vice chair is Mr. Sean Smith. And I did speak to Nikki Schneier, she's here in the audience, and she was an alternate for personal reasons, and now she said it's okay, so I'm going to move you up to regular. And I'd like to appoint I'm going to say this wrong, but I don't know if he's here, Robbie Fraja. He will be now the alternate on Recreation Committee. He's got many years of experience. I think it's over 20 years of experience in coaching. So I believe he's going to be a very good asset with the Razorbacks that are coming up. Yeah, I have it right here. 20 years of experience in sports coaching. It's great with budgets, projects, programs, and management. So welcome, Robbie, to Recreation, and thank you all, again, for volunteering your time. It is much, much appreciated. Moving on, I'm going to open this to the public. May I have a motion to the public? Open to the public, please.
I'll make the motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Aye. All right, it's open to the public. Anybody like to say something, speak? You have 3 minutes.
Yes, please state your name and the town in which you reside. You're limited to 3 minutes unless at the mayor's discretion she wishes to extend the time.
Okay, Bob Davidson from Mercer Park. Do you have any update on the reevaluation by any chance?
Dean?
I do. So,
Yeah.
literally received an email, received an email today from our tax assessor. There's a lot of homes that have not allowed access to the interior, so a letter will be going out to those, I want to say it was almost 600 homes, advising them of the, reality of that you may be overassessed then if you don't allow the inspector in. And they do allow video, so, they will work with you, the assessor. So, those letters should be going out within the next few days.
Because when is this supposed to be completed
This,
by?
for this
Yeah,
year.
we're very close.
For this year, yeah, the end of this month.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they've done the walking and just, not getting access into the interior has been the problem.
I get it. The other thing is, thank you finally for the roof.
Yeah.
I mean, quite honestly, that was something that stuck me in the heart many, many times. I'm very happy to see that. And I see that you're also going to be passing a resolution reference to joining up with the organization with the county for the
The equipment?
was that just strictly for the equipment, or was that also something to do with what was reported? I know that there was discussion last week about the Saddle River project.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry, yes, correct.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's going to be. Yeah, okay.
Right,
We
so
have that.
you are going to be doing that?
Yes.
Because I mean, when I
Yes.
read the article, I was just like, that's a no-brainer. I mean, we definitely
We're going
need
to
to
do
be in
whatever
that.
we can to try.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
that's-
that's what I said in the last meeting.
Right.
We're going to try
And Dean,
our best.
I just wanted to let you know, if I can come over one day, because you need to go over some of the stuff that I have that's in the computer, that's essential to what has happened, so I can kind of like bring you up to speed.
Sure.
Because I think it would be very helpful for you to have, okay?
Thank you.
So, but thank you very much.
Thank you very much,
And
Mr.
thank you
Davis.
so much for the flag.
Oh, you donated. Thank you so much. Thank you. Next, please. Karen, do you need to sit? No, okay.
I'm supposed to be walking.
Oh,
Karen Sauer, 28 Crescent Street. Hello, everybody.
hi.
I'm just pointing out a few things. I do appreciate the fact that we're trying to encourage bicycle riding. Great idea. I'm retired now, and I can't tell you how many people drive around without their stinking helmets. It's a pet peeve of mine, because a couple of my friends cracked their skulls open years ago. And I don't understand why there can't be a type of an exchange with these kids especially. I know you have to be 16 and under. And my other concern is the motorized bikes. I don't know what the rules are. I don't know what they're allowed to do. Are they allowed to be on the sidewalk? Can they go the opposite direction? I think there's lack of education when it comes to what we do with bicycles and motorized bikes now. They're a terror, actually. Again, driving around being retired. That's one thing. I'm still on 28 Crescent Street, and I'm still having speeders up and down the block all the time. Even when I'm asleep, I hear it. It's very upsetting, but, the little bumps don't really do anything. The stop sign at the end of the block was illegal, so when they did the road, they never put it back. At least that slowed them down. Last but not least, noise ordinance. Is there any way to put it in effect? Because I live behind, and I've been here for probably about 8 years with this issue. I've talked to the commander years ago about the noise behind my house, and just call me up. I'm like, no, just monitor who you're renting to. I don't want to call people up. I don't want to call the police. I just need somebody who's leasing that building, that pavilion, to make sure people aren't screaming on the microphones. And after this is over, I would like to let you hear in my kitchen what I got to hear trying to have dinner. It's wrong. It's not good neighbors. And this has been going back, I think, 4 mayors. We had one of the not popular mayors walk in the backyard. Sorry if I insulted anybody. Walk in the backyard of my neighbor to see what she was explaining about the noise and the screaming on the microphones. It's not asking for too much. I love music. Play it or put something up at the back of the pavilion where the music goes out. I don't know what the solution is, but it's not my kitchen table while I'm trying to talk on the phone. And I will let you. I've been recording it only because nobody believes me. And then my neighbor has a baby. She had to go in the other night because she couldn't sit outside in her own deck. Anybody here on the thing here would have the same problem. It's very loud, and just lower the music. I'm from the 70s. I like loud music, but not when I'm trying to eat dinner in my kitchen. And that's about 160 feet away from the pavilion.
So let's look at a couple of things here. The stop sign that was on the corner, I remember it very well.
Mm-hmm.
Was that a legal stop sign,
Mm-hmm.
Dean?
As explained to me, it was not approved by the DOT, thus it couldn't be there because it's only
Mm-hmm.
it's an L intersection.
So
And that was through a DOT grant, that road project. So in order
and
to
the
get.
DOT said it wasn't a legal sign.
It could,
I know
they
it's
they
not-
would
I know
not fund,
people stop
they would
there.
not fund the grant if the stop sign was there.
And was there a speed checker at all in that area?
We've done
Yes.
several
Mhm.
studies on that street, and, again, Mayor, it's, the appearance, of speeding, it definitely outweighs the actual speeding.
Mm.
Yeah, I was given some of the stats. I used to work with stats. I don't care. 15% of people going over 40 is a lot.
Yes, I understand.
Sorry.
I do understand that. Now, with the
And
motor-
that's going down the hill. That stop sign stopped that. Coming around that bend, it's like open, it's Mario Andretti. And,
Which bend? The one by El Dorado?
well,
onto
coming the
Prospect?
opposite direction, going up my street
Okay, I know what you
from
mean.
El Dorado.
Okay.
I've been asked to copy down license plates. No, I'm not going to do that, especially in the temperature of this existence. If somebody knew it was you, forget your house. You're going to have eggs on your house and rocks at your house. So it's not my job to report somebody who's going down the street doing 45 miles an hour.
Is there
Sorry.
any way we can remonitor that street, Chief?
I could definitely add to the list, Mayor, sure.
Okay, appreciate that. The bicycle and motor scooters, and I know exactly what you're talking about, because I see the motor scooters.
It's bad.
I saw one yesterday with a young man holding a baby on a motor scooter, and
My neighbor does that. I'm not saying
I
it's
was very
right.
surprised. I'm going to be very honest. The skinny razor ones, that's what I'm talking about. Chief, anything we can do on that?
Yeah, you should call down to Trenton. I believe there's several bills that have been sitting on the outgoing governor's desk for months now. We get very little guidance from the state. It's a kind of a crapshoot. If you recall, maybe a year ago, I brought before this committee, kind of trying to strengthen our local ordinances as well. They are a menace, no doubt about it. I believe them to be very unsafe, but there's very little state statutes that we can actually enforce.
What
But
about
the
if we just
bicycle
say-
helmet still exists,
hold on one
right?
So the
second.
bicycle, yeah, sure,
Yes, sir.
the helmet law is, but, we can't parent every child in town. I just don't have the resources. So, we do a bike rodeo. We've actually, we've done several, events with the youth, doing bike rodeos, doing, walk to school and ride your bike to school. So we do community outreach and we actually have helmets that we can give away
Right.
to kids who don't have helmets, and we've done those programs in the past. Our officers have given out coupons for ice cream for those who are wearing helmets. The only thing we could do is, we take a child, and by the way, under the new juvenile laws for the last couple of years, if that juvenile turns away and walks away from us, we have no recourse but to let them walk away. We're not allowed to continue to approach them for not wearing a helmet. So we're kind of we've been, hamstrung and handcuffed by the
When they
state.
ride to school on a bike, do they have to have a helmet on the school?
Well, they always have to wear a helmet, but again, if an officer approaches a juvenile and that juvenile chooses not to talk to the officer,
gosh.
the officer has to just let that child go, because we don't want to have a negative interaction with our children.
Ms. Sarah,
Can I laugh now?
Mrs. Sarah, it's not only the children education, it's parent education.
Oh, I know.
Because if you're a parent, I have children, I have 3, and if they walked out and they did that I wouldn't be too happy without having a helmet on. I also have grandchildren, and I know they wear helmets because it is safe. And being in the medical field for many years, it's not a pretty sight when you fall and hurt your head. And straight up, it's something that legislation has. I know that Mr. Chief Pinto has talked about this too. We're trying to do our best. But the police officers, their hands are tied, right? So they say, wear that helmet. And the kid goes, you can go take a hike. There's nothing they can do. So
Those
it's
would be
also
kind
parent-
words. Those would be kind words.
I'm just
Yeah.
being nice, okay, but,
I grew up
Parent
without
education.
helmets, but if you weren't having a bell, a light, and the other things, we had to have a license in Maywood.
we didn't have helmets growing up.
No, I'm saying,
No.
aside from the
Okay.
helmet, cop would confiscate your bike and put it in his,
You
I know you can't do that.
Can't do it now.
But I mean, the parent needs to feel the pinch. I'm all for it. I mean, I know a lot of parents are because they don't think it's, big deal. It's a big deal. Crack your skull open, then go boo-hoo somewhere.
So, I just spoke to council, and he said there is, he can send out to us an ordinance that maybe we can have in our town, and maybe the police will be able to incorporate that and enforce it.
Love it.
Yeah, that would help a lot more, maybe. It would be
And
the
even
best
what
thing.
direction? Aren't they supposed to go like the direction of traffic?
Correct.
How about, I think underage, they could be on the sidewalk. I mean, you don't want a 6-year-old riding in the street, but, there's different categories, and then how fast the bike can go. Then they're a motorized vehicle, and they can get pulled over by the police, and all the stuff we're talking about doesn't apply, because it's just like a car. It's scary. Again, I'm riding around a lot because I'm not working anymore, so hey, now I'm scared to ride around a lot where I grew up. It's not
So we're going to
good.
look into what we can do for that, Karen. I
Thank you.
appreciate you coming. Thank you. Anyone else? Mr. Warren?
Michael Warren, 181 West Oldest Street. I'll tell you what's scary, being a bike rider, and cars don't give you the proper space that by law they're supposed to. I don't know how a 4-pound scooter is more of a menace than a 5,000-pound SUV, and they're getting bigger and bigger, and faster, and to a point where the front end of a SUV, you can't see a kindergarten child in front of you. But somehow it's the bike's fault. The bike rider's to blame. They're not doing this, they're not doing that. My bike has lights, has blinkers, spent a lot of extra money getting those. I should wear my helmet more, she's absolutely correct. I might have a little bit of a death wish, but that's on me. But, Dean, if you're going to do something about bikes, let's do something about cars that don't give bike riders the 4 feet that they're supposed to. Riding, you see where I'm going with this.
Listen, we issued 496 summons in September.
For what? For cars that don't give bike riders enough?
For multiple
different
violations.
Okay. So I just want to make sure we're clear that what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and that being a bike rider in Rochelle Park is scary as hell. I've been pushing to try to get the town to look at bike lanes, dedicated bike lanes. I'm looking for ways that you guys can, because that stop sign is gone. Absolutely. And I live a block away from Karen. And that's why I advocate for curb bump outs, other ways to slow down traffic. But we have a car-centric society. People have car brain. They want a bigger and bigger car. Why? Because it's going to protect them if something happens, right? And they get into an accident. But they have become machines now that can kill people pretty easily because you can't see anymore in front of them. Right? So, and we've got to make sure we are courteous to other people who can't afford a car, who can't drive a car, who don't have access to those things, who need other modes of transit to get around town, to have dignity of a basic quality of life. That's always been my advocacy for that. So I appreciate Karen coming up. I drive on her block. I'm with my bike all the time. I'm going to make sure I wear my helmet more often. Thank you, though.
And let's also,
You don't have to. You're not 16. That's the.
it's,
You're saying I look older than 16? Oh, my God. Okay.
I just want to say I appreciate, with the bikes and everything. And I drive a truck. I drive a Dodge Ram. And what does that mean? I know. But you know what? It helps my back, so I have to drive that. But unfortunately, I know what it's like to be very cautious of the front because it's hard to see over the front of that. But let's not forget motorcycles, all right? I know. I've been on the motorcycle, and it is a very dangerous thing. So courtesy comes in for everything that's on the road. And I know our police department has been very diligent about enforcing a lot of this stuff. Going forward, I'm sure any concerns or complaints, always, reach out to the chief. Now, I don't know, counsel, if there is no stop sign there, how does that work if there was once a stop sign, but it was not DOT approved?
You can't enforce it.
We cannot enforce it. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know when the stop sign was put there, but I know I was on that street. Okay, all right. So, you know, we're going to slow down in our town. I've seen these signs. I have a sign, so let's try to be courteous and move forward. We have to stick that sign in every sidewalk area. But we'll do it. We'll have to do it. Okay, I'm sorry. Ms. Verhassel?
Diane Mahassel, Rochelle Park. First, I wanted to report the Welcome to Rochelle Park did their second distribution a week ago, and I want to thank Michaela, Chris Sheridan, and Tina Mueller for their help. And we didn't have as many, but that's
How
good.
many do you have this time?
20, I think.
Yeah, but there were 70-something last
Right.
night. So,
I guess it's
That's
good
90.
people are staying or people not leaving, however you look at it, but, you know, those have been distributed, and we will do it again probably in the spring.
thank you for doing that.
When we get an update.
That's a very big, that a lot of people like it. When I remember dropping a few off, and they
Yeah.
were very happy to have them. Thank you.
The second thing, just a reminder, I do have tonight fish fight tickets, anybody who wants them for the Boy Scouts. I can, at the end of the meeting, if anybody wants them. The boys do appreciate the support. It does go through, excuse me, to the camperships. I had a question on Fairfield. There's now a sign that says no trucks? No? I wanted to ask.
I read that in an email today, and I spoke with Eddie Kukowski. Neither one of us were involved in putting that up. We believe it may have been there. But there is a no, you know, it's not a truck route anyway, so it is, you know, we could enforce it on, I think it's chapter 180.
I'm thinking the trucks that do deliveries, even the food trucks and stuff to the mall.
Well, so, listen, I mean, obviously, the police department's not going to stop a moving truck, but it is to stop trucks from going through our side streets. So, you know, there's delineated roads in the township that trucks over 4 tons are allowed to be on a regular basis, obviously. But again, if it's a moving truck, you know, but no buses, that's also prohibited. But that's, Dave has his hand up, so maybe Dave has more info as to that sign.
My guys were out this week and they were.
Can you come up here, Ms. Brown, so we can hear you?
Okay, we can hear you, Dave.
See,
It's actually really hard to hear up here sometimes.
No, and you guys, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, hi.
I had the guys out, we were updating signs, elevating signs.
There you go.
Anything that was already there is either back or got a facelift, so to speak.
They were
So,
faded.
At best, if it seems new, maybe it's just higher, but that's about it. Because the minimum DOT standard on any street sign is 7 foot.
Okay.
And I'm just curious if that was also tied into the question of the storage unit trucks that are, you know, that emergency gate that was only supposed to be for emergency. There's a lot of trucks going in and out of that side road onto Fairfield.
So Mr. Verhassel was provided an answer to that same question in that email that I referred to. James DeMaria followed up, told us said they're having issues with the siren activation, because that's, if you recall, and I do recall from sitting in the audience when that came up before the land board,
yeah.
that they're activated for emergency services. If we hit our siren, they'll open. So apparently, whenever a police officer, fire truck's going down Passaic Street or Plaza Way, and obviously there's a stop sign right at Fairfield, so they're going to sound their siren. It's activating that gate, and there's no mechanism to automatically close the gate. They have to be manually closed, is how it was explained.
Right.
So Mr. DeMaria is going to continue to follow up.
Okay, yeah, because I know that's what they said, but that gate, if it's open 24/7,
Well, that would be problematic.
he can't blame the police or fire.
Well,
siren.
it's going to go up at some point because of the siren. It has to be manually shut. But, they need to do a better job of
Yeah,
monitoring.
okay.
So.
Just wanted to know if there was a connection to the two. Thank you.
No, they had the sign, just happens to be Dave was doing facelifts and movements of them.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Fibers?
Linda Boniface, 33 Parkway. I couldn't make I was out of town last week, last meeting, so I couldn't make it, but I watched it. And I was absolutely disgusted. And I just want to point this out. Somebody sent me this, and it talks about the Republican Club of Rochelle Park. And I know, Gail, you're not involved in this. I know that a PJ has pushed you to the side. I know it. And I feel bad for you, because you should have ran again. But it says, the The township has filed a suit against Tofra, the developer, 120 West Passaic Street, for repeatedly violating its obligations to our community. And it says here, this will not be ignored, unlike the past administration that allows these failures to continue. Committeewoman Jenna Piche has taken a stand. Past administration. Which ones? And how many meetings has Miss Piche missed here? I know now she wants to go on the Board of Ed. She can't even make meetings here. But I just want to point out the previous administrations. Bassetti, 24. 23, part of 23, Piche. 23, Mosca. 22, Mosca. Sorry, Gail. 21, Artola. 20, Kazi. So I want to know which administration, and I wanted her to answer it because I know she probably wrote this, or somebody by her, close to her. But I was also disgusted at what she did to two parents in this town, if that's what she did. I have all text messages I've posted to Facebook, online, on here, and right here. Criminally and Child Protective Services will be called. That's a text message from Jenna Piche. It's absolutely disgusting. I think she should resign right now. She's not making enough meetings. She should resign. The other thing I wanted to say was, Gail, if she resigns the end of the year, you should take that one, you should apply for that 1 year. You've been on here 6 years, you know what you're doing, you should take it. If they vote you in. The other thing I wanted to bring up was, when I sat on the township committee, looking for my paperwork, when I sat on the township committee, a resident of Lakeview called me in reference to construction work on a Sunday at 120 across the street here. And I was told that they were allowed to do work on a Sunday by Mr. Pinto, and it came through the building department. And then, gotta love Oprah Machine. I happen to be going on Oprah Machine looking at who was Oprah and whatever. I love when I'm on there. 137 James Street, in April 18th of 2024. No construction is permitted in the township on Sundays. So it's okay for a business to work on Sunday, but it's not okay for a resident to work on Sunday. You have an explanation for that?
I do. So the work that had to be done, according to the construction official, was necessary to shore up certain parts of
It
the
was
building.
electrical contractors. There was no shoring being done.
I remember the
That's another
conversation.
thing you could put on this company. They do nothing but lie. So you know what, this person, if they got a summons, they shouldn't be fined or get their money back. The other thing I wanted to bring up was, at the end of the meeting, there was homophobic statement made by an employee of the town. Not once, twice. Is that okay? Did any of you catch it? I caught it immediately. Immediately. Does anybody have chapter 27? It's the personnel code book of this town. It's a blue booklet, if you didn't get it. I think you need to read it. I think you need to read it. And then Mr. Donatello offered for volunteers. I'm volunteering for the flood committee, whatever he's got going on. Okay?
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Excuse me, may I ask her a question?
Absolutely. Linda?
Linda, the first thing you read, what was that?
That was something off the Republican Club page, and it states...
Oh, on a Facebook page?
Yeah. Well, I would love if Mr. PJ would make a meeting, so I could question it.
I hadn't seen it, so I was just wondering what
I'll
it
give
was.
to you.
Okay. And also, 2020, Nick Labasi was mayor, it wasn't Casimir.
Oh, he left, he didn't leave now. Thanks for straightening that out.
No, I just wanted to set the record straight, that's all.
Hey,
Thank you for that.
On Facebook, you saw it?
yeah. No, somebody sent it to me.
Oh.
I don't, I'm, first of all,
Sorry,
Sorry.
if I overstood.
No.
I'm blocked from Rochelle Park residents and Rochelle Park taxpayers. So if I can't voice my opinion on those websites, I will make this my,
And you have every right to speak here. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
and I hate.
Why are you Anybody else? Oh, I didn't know why you're raising your hand. I'm like, why are you raising your hand? Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Anyone else like to speak, please?
I'm John Sullivan. I live across the street from Karen. I'm just begging you guys. Our Crescent Street is a horror show 24 hours a day. 24 hours a day. And I'm afraid someone's going to die on my block. Hopefully not me Karen and I are outside a lot talking to each other. She lives, across the street from me, whatever. And sometimes people will slow down if they see us. They definitely slow down if she and I are in the street talking. But people are going 50, 60, 70 miles an hour. It's like an airport, especially the ramp going up to Rochelle Avenue, or even coming down. It's a bobsled run. So I heard briefly about the Department of Transportation, whatever. What, again, did the study that was done show? We saw the little flasher for a bit, but, down on the corner here, we've got stop signs that flash red. And why we don't have that stop sign on that corner, I can't understand that for whatever reason, it's gone because we put the new sidewalks in finally and the new street. It's very bad. Someone is going to die.
So, Mr. Sullivan, if I could answer, if there's anything else, or no?
No, I'm
I just
begging.
spoke to council about this. Could we put a stop sign, those flasher ones you see now on Berdan, they flash for stop? And his
That would be a
answer
great
was-
start, I think, to the corner.
Hang on one second, his
Mhm, yeah.
answer was that we could, but it's not enforceable.
Yeah, why was it taken down?
The DOT has to approve it.
But why was it put up, or when was it put up, and why wasn't it put back up?
Well, because from what I understand, that the DOT wouldn't allow the grant to go through unless the stop sign was removed. And if it was put up previously, it was probably put up improperly.
By
Whoever,
the Lord?
whoever.
And if anyone, what happens is sometimes people don't know to check to see if it's a lawful traffic signal. So even if it was enforced, if someone doesn't challenge and say this was never approved, it could still get issued a summons and the court would still issue a fine. But as soon as someone challenges it, they would be successful, and it would be improper to collect fines for I don't want to say illegal, but an unauthorized stop sign. See, county roads are controlled by the county, state roads are controlled by the state.
Okay, so that, our street is, what is ours is a
Local.
count,
Ours is a
Count.
local road. You're talking
a
about.
local road.
Yeah.
So we're governed by the Department of Transportation.
Well, I think that was because of the grant. I wasn't here at the time, but was that was
Correct. And it's also in violation of the MUTCD, which is in Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices, because of the type of intersection. You only have one road coming to the one road. So could one be put there? I mean,
But it's not enforceable.
it's not enforceable.
Well, let's just put it in there. Who cares about?
Well, because we haven't had any
Department of
accidents. Like, we've
Transportation.
had 0 accidents.
I've been here for 20 years. That sign has been there for 20 years.
And-
Karen, you've been here
Yeah,
for
I-
longer than 20 years. How long has that sign been there?
I don't know how it got there, not saying, but it was there.
It's always been there.
People stopped, they saw it, they said, "Wait."
At least they slowed down a little bit midway, kind of like near,
right,
we're like in the middle.
All right, please, one at a time. Thank you. Everybody can get a chance to speak. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Mr. Sullivan.
No, I'm just saying, so that stop sign definitely helped. It wasn't a super deterrent because people just love flying down or flying up Crescent Street. So, but the stop sign was only for Crescent Street and, what is that street called again? That turns?
Cedar.
Cedar. So the stop sign was just for us, if you were coming down the hill from Rochelle Ave, stop at Cedar if you were turning. If you weren't, no, that's not right. But the other way,
Going
up the street from El Dorado?
From El Dorado
Okay.
to Crescent.
No stop sign. So there was only one stop sign on Crescent and the stop sign on Cedar. But if you were coming up the street from El Dorado that turns into Crescent, there was no stop sign. So you could fly, as you still can fly, up the street from El Dorado up 60, 70. I wish I had one of those little guns. How fast are you going?
Yes. Okay, I understand what you're saying, Mr. Solomon. I do remember the stop sign very, very well.
Yeah.
I remember it being there when I was younger.
Yeah, it's been there forever.
But again,
I'll put it up. I don't care.
no, we don't want you to do that.
I'm not telling you I'm putting it up,
We don't want you
but
to put
maybe someone's going to put it up.
No, there could be violations with that. I'm asking that. But I understand what you're saying, and I understand the concern. I've heard this concern from a lot of residents and a lot of streets. I live on a street, I think people speed also. Would I love stop signs every corner? Sure I would. But it doesn't always work that way. We're going to have to talk about
Let's do
something.
speed bumps then.
We have to talk, well, we're going to have to talk about something that is something that could be deterrent, because what happens is, and I've been down that hill, and I've been up that hill many times, and all of a sudden you just kind of pick up speed as you're going down the hill. If I'm Karen's house, I know exactly.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden you come from the top down, and then people like to pick up speed to go up the hill. I've seen it a million times.
Yeah,
I totally understand what you're saying. But as chief, I don't know if there's any deterrent that you can come up with at this time that you could think of as, is there any kind of deterrence we can do?
Yeah, I could put one of those signboards up there. I've already made notes. I'll inform the traffic officer to make that part of his, regular details. We had complaints on Lincoln Ave. He sat up there and we had 0 violations, and we recorded traffic speeds. We'll continue to do that and we'll enforce it, and he uses an unmarked car. So it's not like anybody knows it's a police car, and we'll continue to do that. We did try the speed mitigating painting on the asphalt.
That does nothing. That did nothing from when that began 2 years ago.
And I hear you,
Okay,
I hear and appreciate everyone's concerns, because at the end of the day, though, it's your neighbors that are speeding up and down these streets.
No,
And
no.
I wish I could, no, they may not be. They may be from Burdan Street or from North Drive, or people cutting
It's a cut through also,
I hear you, and I wish I could have an officer on every street and wave a magic wand and issue summonses and slow everybody down. We
At
will
least
continue-
that stop sign would help tremendously. I hear.
Only the one direction. Correct. The one direction.
No, I think there should be two.
So-
On El Dorado, or that's a 3-way stop.
Okay, you know what, at this point, Mr. Sullivan and, Ms. Sorrow, okay, at this point, we
Okay,
understand
we
what you're
got it.
saying. I got it.
I'm
We
just
got it.
begging. I'm just
Chief
begging
got
you
it.
guys to help me.
Chief,
help
we
us.
understand, we're gonna have to figure this out, and it's not gonna just be your street. We hear it all over the place. If you can start with the speed thing, I don't care if you live in the neighborhood, if they're speeding, they get a ticket. And I think that's what this whole committee would believe, because God forbid that hits one of the children on a bicycle, or a scooter, or
Yeah.
walking, because that's what we have a lot going on.
Yeah.
We don't want that. So, I understand what you're saying, we get it, I appreciate you coming here. I know Mrs. Sarah has, in the past, brought this up.
Yeah.
And we're gonna keep doing this until we get the
I wanted to
answer.
support her tonight, too.
No, thank you for being, yeah, you
No,
support
really.
team here. But, I just wanna jump back, thank you, Mr. Sullivan, before you come up, Mr. Mattson, I just wanna jump back for a second. Mrs. Sarah mentioned about the noise complaint. We do have a noise ordinance. What is that noise? What are you doing? Okay. There's a noise ordinance. We have one.
And we just recently updated it.
We
right?
just did, right?
Correct.
So,
So, you need to call the police department. We can now actually enforce those loud music. There are certain time ranges. We no longer need sound measuring devices that the old ordinance required the township to have. So, and again, you talked about
We did
165
update
feet.
that for that reason,
If it can be heard in your yard, a summons can be issued. But we need to know about it. You need to, call us when it happens.
Let you hear it if you Here to hear it.
Right, when it's happening, if you call 201-843-1515, we'll send an officer to investigate it.
So that's why we just updated that ordinance too. I'm sorry, Mr. Mattson, I'll be right with you. We updated that ordinance because there were complaints about that. And, I mean, there's not just complaints about that one particular place. I happen to be in my backyard, I could hear music 3 blocks over. So it's not just one area that you're hearing it. I know you've been hearing it for years. I remember this is going on. I don't know if you could speak to the commander maybe, and they can do something, because there's going to be issuing of tickets from now on if that happens. And I think,
We
Mr.
just
Sarah,
have to be made aware of it.
right, Mrs. Sarah, if you could call quickly, and then you could come over, and once it starts, I believe it will calm down. Because once people start getting issued summonses or tickets, whatever, it may calm down. But remember, they're allowed to have that music. There is now a time where they didn't have the time frame before. We put that in for the noise
It's not
levels.
even the time, it's how loud it is.
I understand that, but even with that, it's in the ordinance. We've updated it enough so the police can say, oh, that's too loud, summons.
It's going to be according to their hearing.
Well, I'm not going to judge somebody's personal hearing, Mrs. Sarah. I'm just going to tell you the best thing to do is to call the police station and make the complaint. That's what they can do. I don't believe I can judge anybody's hearing by saying
I
that.
can't understand how somebody renting space isn't responsible for what goes on in that space. And I did speak to the commander 2 years ago about it. And he's like, just call me up. And I'm like, no.
I understand what you said. Thank you. I understand. We're gonna move forward on this. Mr. Mattson?
Andrew Mattson, El Dorado Court, Rochelle Park. I think we should keep continuing to talk about these exact same issues, so we're not going to move on, because I live on El Dorado Court, and I've gotten up to speak about the traffic in that exact location before, and I was given a little yellow sign and told to go on my way. And I'm really glad that the people that live on my block, that I knock on their door when it comes to political season, and I say, look, my best advice for you is to go to the meeting and be a real pain in the ass. And I see everybody here loves to see this, but at the end of the day, if you want to be on the township committee, you want to be the administrator, whoever it is, you got to sit up there and you're going to listen to this. And until the problem gets solved, it's going to keep coming back. It's going to keep coming back. And so the issue of speeding on the streets, you can be told it's imaginary all you want. But when my dad gets up from Florida, we sit there with that little yellow sign on my front lawn. And he goes, wow, it's really bad. And it's not my neighbors. It's the police in their police cars. And they don't all live in this town. Some of them are my neighbors, but it is a cut-through town. That's that. The Legion, really loud. I live further from the Legion than they do. It's very loud. We're going to have to start calling the police. It's sad. I won't use words like commander and all that. That's ridiculous. I know we can call the police station though. Riding bikes in town. Education. I think it's important. We have the election coming up. We have our assembly people on the ballot. Lisa Swain and Chris Tully. They made sure that when you go to get your driver's ed now, you have to learn about bicycles on the street. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be getting the $1 million from the state. And there's people in this room that spread misinformation that told us we would never get a dime from the state and that we'd be foolish to ever even try. So they deserve our vote as a township. I don't care what party you are. They got us money. Nobody ever thought we'd get that. And that's my time.
Okay, thank you. Yes, please. Yes, Mr. Twinsky.
I'd just like to, for my memory, I also, regarding the El Dorado Crescent area, I remember when the stop signs were there, and I used to drive across town all the time and work, and I do remember when they were lifted, and the first time I saw that, when we had to have them removed because of the DOT, and the cars speeding up and down there, and that also happened, like you said, my son lives right across the street in that area, parking in that driveway,
They're on the curb.
when I was working on the house, again, seeing the vehicles fly up and down the block, it is a matter of time before somebody gets really hurt there. When Minacchios came last year, and I remember Pete Minacchio standing over there, standing up and talking and saying the same thing. You know, we have to do something. I agree, we have to do something. I don't know what the right thing is other than putting up stop signs, but if we're told by the state we can't put stop signs up, are we taking risk by putting our own stop signs? I don't know what it is, but we need to do something. I agree.
One thing, I'm sorry, on the stop sign, I know I lost my time, I gave it away, but I'm taking it back.
Take it back. Go ahead, take it back.
I don't know the
You gotta-
numbers, but I remember looking at it and I was appalled when I looked at what the court brings in. And if I'm not mistaken, I think in years past, the court has lost money.
It did.
So if we put a stop sign up and give right tickets that nobody pays,
hang on a second.
we'll just be right where we were always with the court, in my opinion.
We have improved the court. The court has gone up this year.
But this
I'm not
township
saying
has
it's not-
lived through a court that lost money through the whole fiscal year. So I think if we have one stop sign that we're not making money on, but we're writing tickets and some people are stopping, I think the township would be
You
all
know,
right with
it's
it.
funny when they removed the stop sign, I still stopped because I was so used to stopping.
I
there.
still stop.
I don't know what it was, but I was so used to stopping.
If I go
when
around
came
that
out
corner
on the hill,
going
but-
25 miles per hour, it's not safe.
I know.
It's not safe.
I know, I understand.
That's it, I'm
So
sorry.
Mr. Chewinski also said the same thing, that we need to look at that, and, something has to be, we have to do something, so,
All
yes.
right, last thing. Speaking about speeding, my husband's car was parked and got hit on that street. And we went and filled out an accident report. And, you know, the woman it was a cut through because there's a detour up on, and I say cut through because a lot of people cut through. They don't want the lights. It's not people that just live there. That would be too easy. It's people cutting through to go over to Passaic Street. And we filled out the accident report, we got the rings out, everybody's got the rings, but we didn't have the license plates, and was kind of assured that they'd see the car, because they saw the woman in our rings, and we got vehicle 2 unidentified. I don't know. I just wasn't clear that that was possible, since, you got all those cameras staring at you at the light.
So you're saying
No, we couldn't find out who hit my husband's car. And it wasn't a big deal, but again, they're coming down so damn fast, they can't even regulate how much distance they got, because we're not a wide street.
Yeah.
You've got a car parked on one side and the other side. So it's not a good situation. We asked about the bumps, not those little 25
You're
mile
talking
an
about the
hour.
speed bump, the whole speed bump thing?
Yeah, and I was told that it's not good for plowing for the DPW. That was the answer I got from everybody that was here that day. My girlfriend lives in Woodland Park. You literally have to come to a complete stop to go over the bump, drive about 40 feet, go over the next bump. Why can other towns have bumps that really work, and we have little bump, 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 bump? It's the stuff when you're on the highway and you're, I'm drifting, bump, 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 bump. No, it's a joke. It's a joke, and the big 25 is almost gone anyway. And thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Oh, one thing,
Yes, Ms. Bonifaz?
pigeon droppings carry disease.
Yes.
I
Yes.
just want to make you aware of that.
Yes, thank you. All right, anyone else? All right, so, point well taken. Well taken. And you have every right to be upset about this, because I know for many years this has been going on. And I know they put the strips down. I can tell you the strips look, but we're not on a hill on Howard Avenue, we're flat. So we do have curves, don't get me wrong, but I know what you're talking about with that hill. I'm not sure about the speed bumps with the plow, but this needs to be addressed immediately, I believe, before somebody, gets hurt, and I don't want that to happen. So we'll work something as fast as we can, and I usually don't stop until I get what we need for the residents, and I think that's the rest of us here on this committee. So, anyone else? Yes, Mr. Warren, I see you looking at me. Yes, okay.
I know, but what else is good for me, right?
Hi.
Mr. Mattson had a great point about the problems that are going to keep coming your way. I firmly believe that there are people that work for you that say no to the things you want. You want. When I look for employees or people I want to work with, the answer is yes, and. So when we hear no, it can't be done. No, this won't work. No, because so-and-so says this is a myth. That's on you, you. When your employees fight what you want to change in this town, because they come to ask you for those changes, I want you to think about it. Maybe you need employees who say yes.
Well, if you have been watching this entire year, which I know you have, Mr. Warren, I think there's many things that were answered yes after we went after it, including $1 million that was told we would never get that $1 million, but fought for it, correct? And
You are correct.
am I correct? Yes. So there are a lot of changes that have been made in this town just within a year, just within this year.
Let me just clarify.
Yes, please.
I'm not taking a swipe at anyone on this committee about the changes, but let's keep it rolling.
We're trying.
And let's get to the real nitty-gritty. All right? I love the changes. I like seeing you guys work together. So let's keep it moving, but now you're going to get to some of the harder stuff that employees are not going to want to do. And don't think I didn't face it when I was up there.
I know.
The first time I was up there.
I know.
And I'm sure some of you guys see it, and you end up giving up. And the one thing you have to remember in Rochelle Park, there's always an election every year. So employees end up waiting it out. You want something? I'm going to wait for the next election. I'm going to drag my feet because someone new will be up there. And I'll get in their ear and tell them it's a bad idea. I'm not a big fan of Donald Trump, but the one thing he does do, he makes sure everyone bends the knee to him. And I think there's something there to that I kind of can get behind.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else? Okay, great. All righty. So, hearing or seeing no one, may I have a motion to close the public?
I'll make the motion.
May I have a second?
I will second.
Thank you, sir. Roll call?
Committeewoman Artola?
Yes.
Committeeman Truinsky?
Yes.
Mayor Joshua?
Yes. Motion passed. Okay, let's see. The introduction of ordinance. Clerk, Ms. Kim.
Yes, we have introduction of ordinance 1251-25, amendment of chapter 75 entitled Certificates of Compliance.
Okay. Gene, would you like to explain this a little bit?
So again, this gives the building department and our zoning officer and the construction official a little more. It actually raises some of the fees and fines for people that violate our construction code. It does not interfere with our multiple housing, but it allows for, right now we have no mechanism for inspection upon, again, we'll use across the street. Those 160 units, when they change hands, there's no current mechanism. This will put that in place, which again will bring in more revenue for the township and allow for inspections.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, may I have a motion to introduce ordinance 1251-25?
I'll make the motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Committeewoman Artola?
Yes.
Committeeman Truinsky?
Yes.
Mayor Joshua?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Notice is hereby given that ordinance 1251-25 was introduced and passed on first reading at a meeting of the Township Committee of Rochelle Park held today, October 22nd, and ordered published in accordance with the law. Said ordinance will be considered for final reading and adoption at a meeting held on November 12th at 7 p.m. in the Township of Rochelle Park Municipal Building, at which time all persons interested will be given an opportunity to be heard concerning such ordinance.
Okay, thank you. So we're going to go on to the consent agenda. All items listed below are considered to be routine and non-controversial by the Township Committee and will be approved by one motion. There will be no separate discussion on these items unless a community member or citizen so requests, in which case the item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered in its normal sequence on the agenda as part of the general orders. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda resolutions?
I'll make the motion.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, no questions on that? All right, may I have a roll call, please?
Committeewoman Artola?
Yes.
Committeeman Truinsky?
Yes.
Mayor Joshua?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, off-consent agenda item, resolution 25-276, authorization to fly the veterans flag. I will motion to move this. May I have a second?
I'll second.
Roll
Can we
call?
discuss first?
Sure. I'm sorry.
So, yeah, I vote no on all flags. Both of these are things that I've spoken about.
Yes.
Years past for the Marines anniversary, I've mentioned that in my committee reports, all my work with American Legion and the veterans. I have promoted that. So although these are things I'm in favor of, I am against voting on flags based on personal preference. And so I will be voting no on both flags, even though these are issues and things close to my heart. I actually watched the Vice President this past weekend at the Marines rally, and I was excited watching it. I was glued to the TV. But although these are things I am personally in favor of, I don't believe in voting in personally on flags. So
I appreciate your explanation. Thank
yes,
you.
thank you for that opportunity.
And I'll give you credit for standing by what you do.
Thank you.
Continuing.
Thank you.
All right. Sue, I motioned it.
Yes.
Mr. Twinsky seconded. Roll call, please.
Committeewoman Otola?
No.
Committeeman Truinsky?
Yes.
Mayor Josh Carvalho?
Yes. Motion passed. Okay, resolution 25-277, authorization to fly a United States Marine Corps flag. I will motion to move this. May I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Committeewoman Otola?
No.
Committeeman Truinsky?
Yes.
Mayor Josh Carvalho?
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, so we're going to be on adjournment here. The next meeting will be held on Wednesday, November 12, 2025 at 7 p.m. The agenda is subjected to change, and may I have a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make the motion.
May I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any nays, abstentions? Nope. Okay. Have a great night. Motion carried.
Thank you.